Hey, this is Alex, and I'm with Black Cinema. I just got out of watching Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, directed by Christopher McQuarrie. He is he's actually his filmography is pretty like out there. He started as essentially a writer, and he's a pretty good writer. He written some of the best movies out there. The Usual Suspect, Valkyrie, Jack Reacher, Edge of Tomorrow, man, Mission Impossible, Jack Reacher again. He was also the writer in, I guess, the new Mummy. Also Top Gun Maverick. So, he is a prolific writer. He's also a director. So in terms of directing, he made Jack Reacher, and essentially teamed up with Tom Cruise. That's his main guy. To do, I wouldn't say most of the, yeah. Now I can say that most of the Mission Impossible movies, starting with Rogue Nation, which I like a lot. Um, uh, the yeah. So this is a second part of Mission Impossible franchise. So this is the first. So the first part being Dead Reckoning, the second part being the Final Reckoning. Along the way, they actually changed the name. The original name for Dead Reckoning was Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And then this was supposed to be Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. But along the way, marketing or something like that, they changed the name to Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. Um, all the players that you know from the Mission Impossible series are there. Um, so obviously, obviously Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Haley Atwell is a new addition to the team. So in this movie, and hopefully you see the first one. The first one and the second one, I guess. They are against an AI, and it's funny that the movie's out like in 2025, right? Because AI is like all over the place nowadays. This AI is evolving, learning, and it is essentially gone rogue. Uh, and the team, the IMF team, um, it's essentially need to um, stop the rogue AI. And how do they do it? There is a bunch of plots along the way. Um, yeah, so overall, I actually like the movie a lot. Is it the best like Mission Impossible movie? I don't think so. I think the best Mission Impossible movie to me is still Rogue Nation. Um, yeah, I actually like Rogue Nation a lot. I also like Fallout a lot. Maybe Fallout Rogue Nation is the top two for me. Um, so is it a good is it a good watch? Like you should go see it. Yes, definitely go see it. It is extremely long actually. It's almost like 3 hours long, including commercials. Not commercials, but like trailers. You're looking at 3 hour and a half hour movies. Um, you know, starting with part four, I think, Rogue Nation, the movie started becoming more of a spectacle kind of type of movie, like where Tom Cruise does his own stunt and so forth. I actually kind of missed the earlier days in which each Tom each Mission Impossible movie is directed by a different person, right? The first one was I forgot who it was, but I know the second one was John Woo. The third one was J.J. Abrams, and the fourth one was Bird, I think. Uh, yeah, if I remember correctly. Oh my God, I'm like forgetting here. Um, but anyways, the plot is. I mean, you already know the plot. They're trying to stop the NT. How and where and when and all that, and that's part of the fun. The two big set piece for this is the you probably seen it in the trailer. It's when he has gone down to the submarine, and also when he's hanging on a tiny little airplane. So those are the two big set piece. Those were filmed in IMAX. I particularly like the submarine sequence a lot because you know, when you watch movies in the IMAX, or especially film that is movies that are filmed for IMAX, their ratio is different. Um, I love the transition from just a regular film into IMAX. For this one, like he was underwater, and when it transitioned over to IMAX, like he was turning a knob, and that knob raises the aspect ratio to IMAX aspect ratio, which I thought was amazingly, like, very cool to do. Um, and after that, when it's done, they bring it back to the regular format. Uh, Acting wise, is Tom Cruise doing his Tom Cruise thing. Tom Cruise does the running. Tom Cruise does pretty much everything in this one. The stake is, I don't know if there will be higher stake. This is the ending of, potentially the ending of a franchise. Obviously, they is, even though it's called Final Reckoning, and Tom Cruise, uh, even in a interview said, it's not called Final Reckoning for no reason. He's essentially kind of trying to say that this may be the last movie, and I can kind of see that too. If this is the last movie, great movie to go out by, right? But just, I don't know, maybe just the plot and what they do at the very end, with the entity kind of thing, makes me think that there will be something more. But again, the stake is as high as it can be. It is like the end of the world type of stake, and I don't know how you're gonna top that. Maybe they might have to bring it down a notch or something, or destroy the moon or something like that. But overall, the movie is really good. There were one or two deaths that was unfortunate, I think. Um, but overall, and at the end of it, he has kind of a new team, which is kind of cool. Um, I think I personally like this part of the movie. Not many people do, and that part is the idea that they retcon a few pieces of the older movie to tie into this movie, which I thought was well done. Um, uh, I'm not sure if you remember, but if you watch part three, the MacGuffins in that part three was the rabbit foot. Now you kind of, and you never know what the rabbit foot was, but in this movie, they went back and kind of revealed the rabbit foot, which I thought was very cool. The other thing was, they, maybe it's a nostalgia trip or something, but they bring back a bunch of characters from the past, and they did a lot of flashback in this one to, number one, catches the audience up to who they are, what they're doing, and also sort of, because they want to tie this movie to, like, the past. It helps the audience remember what happened in the past. So for those who didn't watch any of the Mission Impossible, you kind of may be able to follow along a little bit, but it does help a lot if you were to kind of watch the first to the eighth, like a whole marathon or something like that. Um, Overall, that that part I like. I have seen a lot of reviews not liking that. They're thinking that the writer shoehorn in those elements to make the viewer, like, be sympathetic of the character. I don't think that way. I thought it's well done. Um, there was a scene or two. There was one fight scene that I thought was extremely well coordinated, in which there were three teams fighting their own individual battle, and it transitioned one to another so seamlessly, where, like, say you throw a punch from one scene, the other character from a different scene, entirely different scene, that will receive that punch or will continue into that, like, momentum. And I thought that was really well coordinated. obviously this whole movie is ridiculous. Like the timing is wow, like blink of an eye kind of thing, and it's just ridiculous on the stake. But you go see Mission Impossible for that ridiculousness. There, the one bad thing that I think about this movie is that it doesn't have that much humor as the rest. I think part one has more humor, and when I was in the theater, I felt a lot of dread watching the movie. Um, it was just it's nonstop dread, um, wondering whether the hero Tom Cruise and the character Ethan Hunt and his team is going to make it out alive. Obviously, at the very end of the day, you know they're going to make it out alive, but how? And even though you know that fact, you still feel the effect of the dread, and it's like ah. There was a certain part or some character that I wish they fleshed out a little bit more. This is truly, hey, let's not worry about the character. Let's just get the story done type of movie. They didn't spend as much time on the character for this one. Um, Even though they revisit the past a lot. And there were just so many characters in there where like who this guy, who's this guy kind of thing. Um, but maybe the fact that it's the ending of the last movie, they want to bring everyone back, and maybe that's kind of cool. That's why there's so many characters to it's just hard to keep track of. I in general love the film. I is it like the number one? Again, no, it's not. But it's probably a higher upper tier. I'm gonna rate this movie a 8 out of 10. Probably people probably will give it a 7, but I genuinely love the movie. Um, Check it out when you have a chance to. Uh, Besides that, I think that's it. And Alex out.